Zhiyun sent me something insane. The Molus X60 RGB is unlike any other light I've ever seen, and I put it to the test to see if it's worth it for you. The first thing that struck me was the size.
Holy cow. Look how... this thing's tiny!
It gets a lot bigger when you plug the battery pack in, but this is still, it's like the size of a camera. Sort of pocketable, but not really.
It's a little bulky.
The light unit is 2 3/4 by 4 inches and just over 2 inches thick.
Like all of Zhiyun's other new lights, it's got this cool, almost cyberpunky aesthetic to it, with the transparent plastic allowing you to see inside the light, and these exposed heat sinks.
Those heat sinks are going to become really important because when a light gets bright...
wow, that's pretty hot.
The light body itself is actually still pretty cool though. I can hold on to this just fine. It's not burning my hand or anything. Just don't touch the actual light source.
I've had it running at 100% for a little while now, so let's do a fan noise check. Not too bad.
It's not the quietest light I've ever heard, but it's also a consistent low hum, which is really easy for noise reduction software to edit out.
Keep in mind that this is the noise level with it kicking at 100% power. I also did some tests with it running at 50% power after 5 minutes and 25% power after 5 minutes.
On the regular CCT setting, you can range anywhere from 2700 Kelvin all the way up to 6500 Kelvin, but there is no green or magenta tint adjustment, which for casual productions is not really a big deal, and you can kind of find your way to what you're looking for in the RGB settings, which I'll talk about in a second.
Before we go to the next setting, real quick, I want to explain the control dials are super intuitive. The bottom or left dial is the selector, so pushing it in cycles through your settings, and twisting it adjusts the settings. The top or right dial adjusts the selected settings, so right now I'm on dim, and that'll turn it all the way up. If I just move over, now I'm on hue, it'll adjust the hue of the light. Pushing this one in just goes to the next jump, sort of like a pre-selected setting. It is super easy.
The light is full RGB, so you can adjust the brightness, hue, and saturation on this screen, or go to the next to dial in your color percentages precisely using RGB. This is literally adjusting the red, green, and blue levels of the lights individually. After that, you'll find the effects screen with all of the typical settings. I'm actually not a big fan of their candle, police, or hue loop effects. The candle doesn't seem random enough to me, and the police car is almost too random. When it comes to the hue loop, it's just not that smooth. There's noticeable jumps between the blue and violet and red and orange. Other than that, the special effects are fine. Personally, I just don't really use them that much, so this isn't a big sticking point for me.
There's a music setting. I've never seen that before. I wonder what that does. Yeah, this thing dances to music. Why? Because music is more than just a sound. It's a feeling. Whether you're producing music videos or cinematic epics, there's no way more powerful to bring your audience into your project than through sound design. That's why I use music and sound effects from today's video sponsor, Epidemic Sound. Epidemic Sound is more than just a library of thousands of incredible sound effects and more than 40,000 songs. Their user interface acts as an editing teammate by suggesting songs that match the vibe of my previous videos, and their themes page has dozens of playlists packed with tracks composed by super talented artists. Even if you don't know exactly what kind of sound you want, themes like storytelling techniques serve as an awesome source of inspiration for picking the right soundtrack to make your viewer feel suspense, wonder, or joy. I've personally been using Epidemic Sound now for years, and it is hands down my favorite library for music and sound effects. All their assets are restriction-free, and you can even try it out for 7 days totally free by using the link that I have down in the description below. Thank you to Epidemic Sound for sponsoring this video. The X60 is definitely feeling the vibes.
Pretty limited use case though, like unless you're filming a music video or doing like a live performance, don't see using the music mode that often.
All of these settings can also be changed via Zhiyun's Vega light control app, which has always worked really well for me. It's a nice layout, and it's a great place to keep all of your Zhiyun lighting fixtures connected.
I see most people using this light as either a fill light or sort of a backlight. I mean, heck, they even wrote it on the actual light itself. But like any tool, it's all about what you need and how you use it. I mean, at 60 watts, this could even work as sort of a soft key light.
I'm only at f4. This is running at 100% and it's plenty of light to key in a studio setting. Like actually way more than I was expecting when I filmed the earlier part of the video. This is substantial power coming from a very small light. It's pretty incredible.
With all of this light output, you've got to find a way to power the thing, and they included two options.
You've got the battery grip, which is great. It locks into place on the side of the light with absolutely no chance of ever coming off. This will give you 50 minutes at full power or almost 3 hours at 15% power and, anywhere in between. You can also plug the light into house power with a DC adapter, which enables you to detach the battery for a smaller setup.
Right out of the box, my first impression was this super nice carrying case that Zhiyun designed for the light. It all feels very high quality, and there's even this little tag here for you to put your contact information in case you lose this in the airport or on set. Inside there's some mesh pockets underneath the lid and foam cutouts to hold all of the pieces of the light safely. Of course, there's the light and battery, power adapters, and charging cables, but it also comes with this tiny little reflector and a rubber dome to go over it to modify the light. You can also buy an adapter separately to attach the X60 to any Bowens mount light adapters you might already have.
I also found this little mesh bag in one of the lid pockets.
My best guess is that this was designed to hold the DC power adapter so that it doesn't tug on the actual lighting unit and you can hang it off of a C-stand or something. With all of these features and the incredibly small footprint of the light, you'd probably assume that this thing is not cheap. But it kind of depends on your definition of cheap. The RGB combo kit that I have retails for $329. You can get the light without the battery and the carrying case for $249 though. And I honestly cannot tell you whether this is a good deal or not because there's really no comparable lights on the market in competition with this thing, which leaves the decision, as always, totally up to you. Does this light fit a need that you're gonna use it all the time and make it totally worth it? If so, get it. This is kind of revolutionary. If not, you don't really need something this small and you can go for bigger lights, less power, more power, whatever, then take that into consideration. Maybe this doesn't fit your needs. If the X60 is a little bit small, maybe not quite bright enough for your needs, you should check out this video where I review the Molus G300, which is a lot brighter, but not even a whole lot bigger. It's awesome. See what I'm talking about.